Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Well, after just one practice, Kiko Alonso retired. So the Saints were looking for linebacker depth. Of course, Quan Alexander signed with the Jets. So the Saints brought in Kiko Alonso, worked him out, was in shape. They signed him, went through one practice. He retired. So the Saints have brought back Chase Hansen. Hansen also spent time with the Falcons earlier this year. He's got one tackle in 5 career games played over the last 2 seasons, predominantly as a special teamer with the Saints. I think my biggest concern has moved for the Saints. It's no longer running back. I think my biggest concern is linebacker. And I don't mean for that to be reactive, but I think the Saints defense has to be dominant. I think for this team to win, for it to work the way it is, I don't realistically think the Saints offense, even with the new weapons they've added, with a healthy Jameis, I don't think they're going out to score 30 a game. Especially no Sean Payton. I think the offense will be much improved over a year ago. Obviously, I don't think they'll be the worst passing team in the NFL. But I think they're going to be led by their defense. And I'm a little more bullish maybe on the defensive line because I think you have a lot of versatility with some of those guys. Namely, if you get a healthy Peyton Turner and Marcus Davenport, guys that can play inside and out. But, man, after Demario Davis and now Pete Werner, boy, you just don't have a lot there. And even Pete Werner is a question mark to a degree. I mean, he's played one NFL season, and now he's battling an injury. I mean, you've got Andrew Dowell, who's in his 2nd year. You got Zach Bond in his 3rd year, Caden Ellis in his 4th year, Eric Wilson in his 6th year, and then Jackson, the rookie out of Appalachian State that you just drafted. You don't have any proven depth at all. So you really cannot afford any injury at all at linebacker, or you're going to have someone step up in a dramatic way, which they never have before. So I am concerned, man, about linebacker, and I'm going to be curious to see if the Saints do try to add anybody there. I have been asked a lot. So the other position I mentioned there was running back, and I've talked about this since the draft. I wanted the Saints to draft a running back. They didn't. A big part of that was they used a lot of draft capital to move up, and with fewer draft picks, didn't have the draft capital to take a running back. Their answer was Abram Smith, the running back from Baylor, who they paid a lot of money as an undrafted free agent to sign with the team, and I think he could be very good. So when we saw the news over the weekend that Kareem Hunt was asking for a trade, I got asked by a lot of Saints fans, hey, should the Saints go make a move for Kareem Hunt? And listen, and look, I've been one of the guys who's been pretty adamant that I'd like to see the Saints make a move to bring in a running back. And we've talked about a lot of those guys. If it was Sony Michel, if it was Darrell Williams, if it was Tariq Cohen. We talked about a lot of those guys over this year, over this offseason. I do not think the Saints should make a move, though, for Kareem Hunt. And I want to be clear because I think there's 2 different parts of this conversation. Number one, I would love the player. I would love to have Kareem Hunt on the Saints. I mean, he was phenomenal as a rookie when he led the NFL in rushing back in 2017. We know he had a major issue where he was videoed shoving and kicking a woman. He was ultimately released by Kansas City. He was signed by the Browns. And he and Nick Chubb might be the best running back tandem in the NFL. Kareem Hunt was injured for a bulk of last season, missed it. But here's the bigger problem. Kareem Hunt has 1 year left on his contract. He signed a 2-year, $12 million deal with Cleveland. He's got 1 year left. So if you are to acquire Kareem Hunt, you'd have to trade for him. So you would have to give up an asset, likely a draft asset. So you're going to give up draft capital to acquire a player who's in the last year of his contract. So the only way it really makes sense is if he agrees to sign to a longer-term deal. But are you really going to commit dollars to a running back when you signed Alvin Kamara to a 5-year, $75 million contract. I cannot in any way, be okay with having not one but two running backs on gigantic contracts in an NFL where the running back position is completely devalued. So the Saints have a potential out in the Kamara contract after 2023. I don't suspect that they'll exercise that. You still have another year before you have to even think about that. More than a year to even think about that. But I would love Kareem Hunt, the player. I would not be okay with giving up an asset for a player who has 1 year left on a contract. And if you wanted to keep him, you'd have to sign him to a contract. And then you'd have two running backs eating up a chunk of your salary cap. So, no. Yeah, would I want Kareem Hunt? Yes. Would I want Kareem Hunt for what it's going to cost? No. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.